Shubhamangalam at Liquid Scholar, myself Sudeep. I'll continue with the study material part of class 9 and for chapter 2. Okay, so you need to open up the study materials and turn to page number 80. Okay, so we will do it along and I'm starting with the MCQs over here. So choose the correct answer and write its letter in its brackets. So the distance traveled by a body is 0. Then the displacement of the object is, of course, if the body is not going to undergo any distance, there is never going to be any displacement also. So the first one is going to be A, that is 0. Second one, speedometer. You might see a speedometer or a device in your vehicle which is going to measure the speed at that particular instant. So second one is speedometer measures speed at an instant is nothing but instantaneous speed. So second one is going to be C. Third one, a boy running at an average speed of 4 kilometers per hour reaches a school from his home in half an hour. So the distance of his school from his home. So they are asking us to find out the distance. What is the formula of distance? Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed is given as 4 kilometer per hour. Time is given as half an hour. So 4 into 1 by 2. So 2 ones are 2 twos are. So distance is equal to 2 kilometers. You can note this down in your book over here, or else write it on the paper and stick it over here so that you don't need to maintain another book for this. So third one is going to be option A. Don't maintain another book for the objective part. Take a paper, stick it over here and write down the calculation part. Fourth one, a device used to measure the distance. Like speedometer measures the instantaneous speed. The device in your vehicles which is going to help you to measure the distance is called as odometer. So fourth one is going to be C. Fifth one. Okay, fifth one, a car is moving with a uniform velocity. This means a consistent velocity of 40 kilometer per hour. Acceleration after 1 hour. What is acceleration? Change in velocity. But here they are talking about uniform velocity. Is there going to be any kind of acceleration in this? No. Acceleration itself means change in velocity class. But in the question they have mentioned that the car is moving with a uniform velocity. So when there is uniform velocity, there is no acceleration we are talking about. So fifth one is going to be D. Sixth one, distance time graph. Distance on the y-axis, time on the x-axis of a body is a straight line parallel to the time axis. So if this is the distance versus time graph and time is on the x-axis and distance is on the y-axis and the graph is like this, like a straight line parallel to the x-axis. What does it mean? That the body is at rest. Do you understand? So there is no movement happening, otherwise it would be some exponential or some straight line graph. Okay, so sixth one is going to be C. The straight line parallel to the x-axis signifies that the body is at rest for all the timings. Do you understand? So sixth one, at rest, that is option C. Seventh one, come to page number 81. Okay, so area, seventh one on page number 81, area under velocity time graph is equal to the speed of the body. No, velocity also means that there is a certain direction. The distance traveled by body, no, that's not enough. Magnitude of the displacement of the body. Displacement means distance traveled in a particular direction. Okay, so the amount or how much distance has been traveled in a particular direction is nothing but how much displacement has happened. So that is what velocity, the area under velocity is going to give you. Do you understand? So seventh one is going to be C. Eighth one, a particle is moving in a circle of diameter 10 meters. So if this is a circle and the diameter is 10 meters, the particle is moving in a circle. Okay, so here you need to find out the distance covered by it on completing 2 revolutions. Okay, so if the particle is moving in around the circle, okay, so we are going to consider the circumference, that is going to be 2 pi r. But here we are not talking about radius, we are talking about the entire diameter. Do you understand? So r will be replaced with 2 pi d. That is the formula. So 2 pi into the diameter given over here is 10. So 10 into 2 is 20. That's 20 pi. Okay, that's the distance covered by the body for 2 revolutions. Okay with everybody? So here Fine. The eighth one is going to be C, which is 20 pi. Ninth one. A person moves through 100 meters, is going from A to B, and travels the same distance and is returning to B to A. It returns to the same position from where it started. Is there any displacement over here, class? No. His displacement is 0. So, 10th one. The numerical ratio of displacement to distance for a moving object. Displacement is the shortest distance traveled. So it is always going to be lesser than or equal to distance. Do you understand? So 10th one is going to be D. For example, displacement divided by distance. Okay, that is what they are talking. Is going to be less than or equal to 1. Okay, because displacement is less than the distance, and in cases of straight line distances, displacement is going to be equal to distance. Okay, so when distance comes on this side, what is left over here? 1. So displacement by distance is less than or equal to 1. 11th one. Which of the following is not a unit of time? Parsecond is a unit, astronomical unit. Like the radius of the earth is 1 astronomical unit. Light year is again the distance. Micron is the quality. The plastic cover should be under 50 microns. You must have heard about this. Second is the unit of time. So they're asking us which of the following is not a unit of time. So option D, 11th one is also option D. That is 1, 2, 3 are not units of time. A man sitting in a train in motion is facing the engine. He tossed a rupee coin up. The coin falls behind him. The train is moving forward with acceleration only because the train is moving forward. That is why the coin fell behind. Do you understand? So 12th one is going to be A. 13th one. When a body is moving with uniform velocity. Okay, when it is moving with uniform velocity, this means it is traveling in a straight line. If it is changing its directions, then it is not uniform velocity. There is a certain acceleration taking place, like the curved path of the bus. Do you remember? Along the curve, the rate of velocity changed. The acceleration was the highest at that point of time. At that point, when the bus was taking a curve, the acceleration is going to be highest. The speed is going to be highest. So the body is moving with uniform velocity. This means it is moving in a straight line path. You remember the distance versus time graph tells you that whenever there is a straight line coming from the origin, this means the body is moving with uniform velocity. So 13th one is going to be B. 14th one. Consider the motion of the tip of the minute hand of a clock in 1 hour. It is going to start from the same position and end at the same position. Okay, so distance covered is going to be 0. Fine. So 14th one is going to be A. 15th one, a body released from height h. So this is a small problem that we need to write. Okay, so I'll clear up the board for you. I will write the 8th problem step by step so that you note down cleanly because it was not written properly. So 8th one class. Okay, I'll read out the question again. A particle is moving in a circle of diameter 10 meters. Okay, the circle of diameter 10 meters. The distance covered by it on completing 2 revolutions. Number of revolutions is equal to 2. And you need to find out the distance covered. Okay, so the distance covered. So what is the circumference of the circle calculated as? It is calculated as 2 pi r. So 2 into 2 pi r, that is 2 into the this 2 is the number of revolutions over here and 2 pi r is the circumference. The circumference is nothing but you are covering the entire diameter over here. So that is going to be written as 2 into pi into d. Okay, so d is nothing but 10 over here. So 2 into pi into 10, which is 20 pi. Okay, so you can have a shortcut here. So if we are talking about the particle moving inside the circle, then we need to only discuss about the radius. Yes or no? So radius is going to be around 5 meters because the diameter itself is 10 meters. So here itself you can directly calculate it without thinking about over here. 2 is the number of revolutions, then 2 into pi over here, then r is nothing but 5. So 5 into 2 into 2 is nothing but 20. So answer is going to be 20 pi meters. That is the distance traveled by the particle moving inside the circle. Do you understand? When we consider only the radius. But I directly did it with the diameter. So you can even note down either of those solutions over here. Okay, so the next part that we are going to discuss is the problem number 15. Problem number 15, a body is released from height h, takes time t to reach the ground. So the body is released from this particular height, and the time taken by this particular body when it is released from height h is t. Okay, so now after time t by 2, its height from the ground is. Okay, so basically start using s is equal to ut plus half at square. That is the distance that we need to calculate. Now when the body is thrown from height h, what is going to be the distance? So it needs to completely cover height h, yes or no? It needs to completely cover height h to reach the ground. So the distance traveled is nothing going to be h. So the initial velocity is going to be 0. So 0 into t is nothing but 0 plus half a t square. So t is nothing but over t. T is given as t over here. So there's nothing to replace in this. So h is equal to half a t square. This is what you need to remember. Now, once the body has covered a certain part, okay, certain length from falling down. Okay, so this was the position from which it started falling, and once it has covered a certain distance at time t by 2, okay, how much height it has it covered, that we need to calculate. And how do we do this? We are going to again write s is equal to ut plus half at square. So here this time, because we're calculating the second part height, this means how much distance was traveled from this point to this point. For example, this point is a, this point is b, this point is c. C is the ground. To reach from a to c, okay, the complete distance covered was the complete height, and that is nothing but h. But to reach from distance a to b, the height will be written as h dash. Again, the initial velocity is 0, so that u into t is going to be 0 over here. So half into, but the t value is going to change over here. T value initially for the entire journey of the body from the topmost position till the ground was t seconds. But when it reached only t by 2, or when it reached only midway, it is going to be half into a into t by 2 the whole square. Do you understand? It is going to be h dash is equal to 0 plus half into a into t by 2 the whole square. So h dash is equal to half into a into t square by 4. Do you understand? Now, can you see this? H is equal to half at square. Now you have half at square over here. So h dash can be written as half at. Okay, h dash can be written as, in place of half at square, you can write h. You can write h by 4. So this is your equation number 2. This is your first equation. Okay, now what do you need to find out? You know the entire height value. Fine. You know the entire distance value, which is half at square. You know the half distance value, that is h dash is equal to h by 4. But in the question they are mentioning what is its distance from the ground till it reaches t by 2. Do you understand? So it is not this portion that is asked. It is not the complete portion that is asked. It is this portion that is asked. Do you understand? Now what is it? So if this portion is written as x, so what are you going to write now? H minus h dash is equal to x. Okay with everybody? If this portion is h dash, I just calculated h dash. The entire portion is h, but I need to calculate the distance from the ground till t by 2. Yes or no? So I need to find out what is x. So x is equal to h minus h dash. Did you understand now? So that is what I need to know. So here h minus h dash is nothing but x is equal to h minus h by 4. So x is equal to 4h minus h by 4, which is 3h by 4. Okay with everyone? So this is what you need to know. I will write in the entire board a little neatly so that you understand what am I actually doing over here. Okay, so We are going to write the problem again so that you copy it properly and not make it a mess again. So we are going to throw the object from height h, okay, and it takes time t to reach the ground. Do you understand? And at time t by 2, the height is going to be h dash. What I need to find out is from the ground till t by 2, what is the distance? Okay, that is what I need to find out. A body released from height h takes time t to reach the ground. After time t by 2, it's height from the ground. Do you understand? After time t by 2, we need to find out the height from the ground. That we cannot do directly. Before that, we need to find out the distance from h to t by 2. Did you understand now? So let's see this again. So we are going to use the equations of motion, one of the equations, because s is equal to ut plus half at square. So if this was point A and this was point B and this was point C. So to reach from point A to point C, the distance covered was nothing but the entire height. So s can be written as h over here. Initial velocity is going to be 0. So 0 into anything is going to be 0 again, plus half a in place of t is again t, because they have mentioned in the question also, the body takes t seconds, the body takes t time to fall from height h and reach the ground. Okay, the first line itself, a body released from height h takes time t to reach the ground. So in place of t in the equation, again we have to write t. So h is equal to half at square. This is my first equation class. Now let's talk about the second instance, when the body is falling down and it has reached the particular time called t by 2. At that particular time t by 2, what is the distance traveled? We need to find that first. So at t by 2, what could be the distance? Use the same equations of motion, but in place of distance traveled, you are going to use h dash over here. So h dash is equal to, again the initial velocity is going to be 0. So 0 into t is going to be 0 again. So half a into, but right now in place of t you should write t2, because we are talking about a different timing over here. Earlier we were talking when the body fell from point A to C, but here we are going to talk about when the body falls from point A to point B. Do you understand? So first, we in the first case we are talking about when the body falls from A to C, the distance traveled is going to be h and the time is going to be t. But when the body falls from A to B, the distance traveled is going to be h dash and the time is going to be t by 2. So in place of t in this particular formula over here, I am going to write t by 2 the whole square. So h dash is equal to half into a into t square by 2, which is nothing but h dash is equal to half into a t square by 4. Do you understand? In place of that, okay, let's see this. This should be t square by 4 class, because it is t by 2 the whole square, right? So here it is half into at square by 4. Now look at this equation number 1. H is equal to half at square. Can you see half at square here also? So this can be written as h dash is equal to h by 4. Okay, so we know the value of h. We know the value of h dash. We know the complete value and we know a portion value. Can we find out the rest? Yes. So let this part be x, and x is equal to nothing but the complete distance minus this known distance. So it is going to be x is equal to h minus h dash. So x is equal to h minus, what is h dash class? It is h by 4. So take an LCM, you get 4h minus h by 4, which is 3h by 4. Okay, that's your answer. So that is option number C. Now, 16th one. An object may have varying velocity with, okay, look at this one. 16th one. An object can have a varying speed without having varying velocity. What is velocity? Speed in a particular distance. Maybe the object is moving just in a particular direction, okay, but it is changing its speed. Do you understand? So even though it is changing its speed, there is a possibility that it does not need to change its direction. So 16th one is going to be option A. Okay, don't look at the answers behind, they all are not correct. So you need to understand by your logic over here, an object can change its speed Okay, an object can be like in a particular state where it is changing its speed, and it can also be in a state where it is not changing its velocity. Velocity is changing the direction. Maybe the route from your school to your house is a straight road. Okay, this means you're not changing the velocity, you're just changing your speed. Maybe you want to reach home early. Do you understand? So the option is going to be A, 16th one. 17th one, the velocity of a particle is 0 at time t is equal to 0. Okay, this is going to be option C class. If acceleration, can you see A over there? If acceleration is 0, this means there is no change. The body did not speed up. There is no rate of change in the velocity from time t is equal to 0 to time t is equal to 10 seconds. Then the speed is non-zero. Of course, in what cases does the acceleration become 0 class? Acceleration becomes 0 when the speed of the body is not changing. So they have given you two time limits. They are starting from 0 seconds to 10 seconds. The acceleration of the body was 0. What do you understand from this? That the body did not speed up. So you need to change the option over here. It should be just corrected. There is a typo in C and D, but for now C is the correct option. If A, that is acceleration, is 0, from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds, from the 0th second to the 10th second, if the acceleration is 0, the speed of the body is also 0. Okay, so right there speed is 0. Cut the word non, and the correct option for 17th one is C. What do you mean by acceleration? Change in velocity. If the change in velocity is 0 in a time limit, this means the body did not catch up any speed. So speed is going to be 0. Do you understand the logic over here? 17th one is going to be C. Correct the option, cut the word non. Please turn to page number 82. So page number 82, two bullets A and B are fired simultaneously, horizontally and with different speeds from the same plane. Which bullet will hit the ground first? So both of them are going to hit the ground first class. 18th one is C. 19th one, the speedometer of a bike. I just told you it is going to give you the instantaneous speed. 19th one is A. 20. I have told you the relationship between displacement and distance. Yes or no? Distance is definitely going to be lesser than displacement is definitely going to be lesser than distance. Displacement is the shortest distance traveled. So displacement is going to be lesser than distance. So here, which of the following is correct? Distance by displacement is greater than 1 or greater than or equal to 1. So 20 is option B. 21. Which of the following is a scalar quantity? Electrical energy is a scalar quantity. So 22nd one, ratio of the distance traveled in 1, 2 and 3 seconds. Now for this you need to understand S is equal to ut plus half at square. In place of t, if you write 1 over there, okay, and u is again 0, then you have what? You have half a into 1 square, half a into 2 square, half a into 3 square. Half a is the common one. So what is the ratio? 1 square, 2 square and 3 square. I will write it on the board if you have written all this. You can definitely pause the video or rewind the video to write down what was written over here. So we are doing question number 22. Okay, so for question number 22, you need to consider the formula S is equal to ut plus half at square. Now you have three different timings. So it is t1, S is equal to ut plus half at2 square. Okay, then S is equal to ut3 plus half at3 square. So t1 is equal to 1 second, t2 is equal to 2 seconds, t3 is equal to 3 seconds. Do you understand? In place of t1 you are going to write 1, t2 you are going to write 2, t3 you are going to write 3. Okay, ut2 is going to be a common part in all of them, so you need not worry about all that. So here, because u is going to be 0, so this is not going to be considered only. So half a into 1 square is to half. If you want to make a ratio of S1, S2 and S3, so S1 is to S2 is to S3 is going to be half a into, in place of t1 write 1, half a into 1 square is to half a into 2 square is to half a into 3 square. Now half a is common over here. What is the ratio? 1 square is to 2 square is to 3 square. That is your answer. Fine. Pretty complicated for your level. I don't know why they have given you. 23rd one. Which of the following is correct? Acceleration due to gravity in vacuum is same irrespective of size and mass of the body. 23rd one is A. It's good. You can increase your knowledge. It's not that tough. 24th one. If a body is projected horizontally, 23rd one is option A class. Acceleration is going to remain the same irrespective in the gravity due to gravity in vacuum, of course. Okay, irrespective of the size of this size and mass of the body, the acceleration due to gravity in vacuum is going to remain the same. 24th one. Vacuum is when you have no air, like it is empty. So if a body is projected horizontally from the top of the tower, the time taken by it to reach the ground depends on. Of course, if you're going to throw an object from the top of a building, the total duration is going to depend on how tall the building is. So how high the tower is. So 24th one is going to be option B. So that is all. We will continue from, okay, the homework for today is try to do MCQ number, question number 25, 26 for homework. Just try it out. Okay, try to logically think what could be the answers for this, and we will start from 27 onwards in the next class. So 25 and 26 is for homework. It is very simple class. You just need to apply a little bit of logic over there, and they are not problematic. They are all theoretical as far as I believe. Just few, maybe one or two, maybe practical, which I will definitely help you how to do it. So I mean, I will help you in the problematic part. So classwork is from page number, okay, we'll write question number from question number 1 to question number 24 done. And homework MCQ 25, 26. Solve MCQ 25 and 26. So if you can't see, I will read it out. So we have done objectives from number 1 to 24, and 25 and 26 are given for homework. Just two objectives. Just try to understand what is the question given. We have done so many equations of motion. We have done so many sums over here. Of course, something or the other thing is going to be related. One or the other equations of motion is going to be related. Try to fit in. Try to understand what is given over here. Try to think logically and cognitively, and you will get the answer for sure. So homework is solve MCQ 25 and 26, and we will continue with the rest in the next class. Thank you for this.